We're not doing April, don't worry, we've not gone back in time. I was just doing that to make sure the book is straightened out. So I think there's plenty of people on here, so we'll just get straight into it. Also, do you like my new nails? They're pastel colours, so love them. But yeah, let's just start filling in my journal. I like to do some this kind of video every now and again, just because people seem to really enjoy it, and it's such an easy way for me to show people how to use the spreads, because it's actually me using them in real time. So I'll just flick through to get to the first page that I need to fill in. Of course, we've got my like initial pages at the front here with my future log inspired by Amanda H. Lee's setup. But the first page that we come across that I need to fill in is the year in pixels. You can see it's really coming together now. And today it is Wednesday the 22nd, so we're going to be filling in this little box here. And I've already picked out my colours and everything, so don't need to waste time doing that. But today I'm going with pink. It's a bit of an average day for me. I've got quite a lot on, so it always gets a bit stressful. And yeah, like it's good, but it's not great. Bit stressful, so I think average is probably a good colour for that. For everyone who wonders, I use Crayola Super Tips mostly for my colouring in, but I do quite like the Tombow brush pens as well. And yeah, if you want me to do a video showing all my pens or markers, trying them out, that sort of thing, then let me know and I can do that for you. So skipping through now, I will do a little flip through as I always do to get to June. I love all of my spreads, so I'm more than happy to go through them every time I flick through to the month that I'm in. So my January was space, kind of constellations theme. Hi everyone, thank you for joining. Yeah, just leave any comments or questions you've got in the chat and I'll answer them as I can. This was my minimalist, foresty, outdoorsy theme for February, which I really liked. Something a little bit different for me. This was my attempt at time blocking, which just didn't go well, so looks cool, but just not for me. I like to change up what I'm doing a bit too often to be that rigid with my structuring. Then we've got March, which was my bumblebees, and I love this one. It's always so nice to see when I flip through my journal, because like, look at that, it just stands out so much. Workout tracker, I always give a little mention to how I like the concept, but I messed up the colours and I couldn't really work out which colour was meant to be which, so you know, learn from my mistake if you fancy trying that one out. The gratitude log, I need to bring that back. I've not used it in a couple of the recent setups, so maybe for July I'll bring the gratitude log back. But this was my little Dutch door set of weekly spreads, which was a really cute one to use and to flip through. And I just like having a bit of difference between each of the months, just changing it up as we go. Then we've got my adorable little duckling theme for April, the April showers, and the little ducks in rain, and little rain boots was really, really cute. This was when I first started experimenting with the single page spreads, which you will see I am still using, but I was kind of going back and forth between double page and single weekly spreads. I do love how the double page spreads look. I just don't love the kind of excess space, because I just don't need that much space for my planning usually. But yeah, so this was May. I love May. This is like one of my favourite spreads I've created, I think. Just love the soya milkshake. It was a little bit different and very me. So, and look how cute the strawberries look all filled in. They're adorable. The page is red. This was a new tracker I've brought in because I need help encouraging myself to read, because I like to do it, but as we all know, I'm terrible at sticking at it. So it's kind of working because I don't like to leave it not filled in, and I'll show you on the June spreads why that is more important, because they're on my weekly spreads. So here is when I started incorporating more trackers on my weekly spreads and doing all single page weekly spreads as well, which I really, really like. Someone's put, what is this? So this is my bullet journal. It is basically the journal that I use to plan my weeks, and you can create little trackers. You can track your sleep, you can track your reading, your water intake, anything you want to track. And it's just fun if you enjoy creating the pages yourself, because you start off the journal with blank pages. So yeah, that's basically what this is. And here we are at my June spreads. So I will talk you through these a little bit slower. This is a live chat. Yes, it is. So I'm glad to have you all here. It's really nice to be able to talk to you and answer you in real time. But yeah, so for June I created a quote page and a cover page to create like a double spread, what would you call it? Just like an intro to the month. But this set of themes was a replica of my themes from last June, because that was when I first started this account. So I wanted to give a little nod to me doing this for 1 year. So yeah, as I said, quote page, cover page. Then this is the calendar spread, which again is a replica of last year's version. I wouldn't necessarily go with this style now. I think it's quite cute, but I just don't tend to use the calendars as much. But I'm basically just colouring in the days in alternate yellow and lighter yellow as we go through. So this is where we are. It's a Monday to Sunday setup, so I'll be colouring in this one. So that is our first thing to colour in. I'm going to be using the Tombow brush pens. Yeah, this is the slightly darker yellow, and the other yellow is from the pastel set. So I just colour this bit in. Sometimes I get a bit rushy and I go out of the lines a little bit and it really annoys me. But I just think they look kind of cute. I quite like the fact that I didn't use a ruler on these little boxes. They just look a little bit more quirky, I think. But yeah, so that is the little calendar. That's all I do on that page. So for those wondering what are those little boxes, they're literally just to represent the days of the month. And then we've got the Moo Tracker. So this was one I had to make up because last year I didn't use a Moo Tracker, so I didn't have anything to copy. But I think it's really cute. It's like just what I would imagine a lemon themed Moo Tracker, using the segments as the Moo Tracker sections. And if you were really clever, you might be able to have it so that you've got 7 per circle or something, so it's like set up in weeks, but I couldn't manage that. But yeah, so the next one we need to colour in is number 22 down here, and I've got my little key. It's just a basic one. Let me show you a bit more up close. I just like having the little emoji smiley things to represent the moods. I feel it's more like easily representable of various moods as opposed to having to write the words, if that makes sense. So as I said, today's a bit of an average day, quite a lot on, a little bit stressful, so I'm going to go with this one here, which is a Crayola Super Tip colour, and I'll just colour this one in. The only thing about this page that annoys me a little bit is because there's obviously a lot of lemons on here, which doesn't annoy me in itself, but the fact that I've drawn the circles in pencil using a compass, which looks like this. If you're not familiar, you put the spike on the middle bit and you draw around, and it's got a little pencil on this side. So I did that to pencil them out so they were like perfect samples. Perfect circles, sorry. Are you dead or something, Meg? Absolutely not dead. I'm all good. Just a little bit of a stressful day today, that's all. But yeah, so I've drawn them all in pencil and they look great. But then trying to go over the top in pen, it just doesn't work. It's so difficult. So you can probably draw those better than me if you were to recreate those spreads. But yeah, moving on. These are my first and second weekly spreads, because as I said, I'm doing the single pages this time. And I think I'm going to keep that up, at least for now, because I just really like it. So I've also added on more of the trackers onto my weekly spreads. You guys are at school. Oh, that's cool. I hope you're having a good day. Also, don't let this interrupt your lessons. But yeah, so I'm calling this my dashboard style weekly spread. I don't know why, but that's what it makes me think of. Like, you know, when you've got a dashboard on a car, for example, and it's got all of your kind of data and like all that sort of stuff, like information. That's what I was just kind of thinking. So I've got a little sleep tracker and I've got a book tracker, which when I fill it in a minute for this week, I will show you exactly how that works. But I've just got Monday to Friday because I tend not to plan my weekends as much. Yeah, and then if I end up with any space, I can just do like next week or a notes page or something like that in the filler section. So this was week 3 last week, so that's all filled in there. This was the first time I've actually not read, so it's really annoying to leave a little gap, but, you know, that's why it's good encouragement to keep me reading, because I don't want to leave gaps on my weekly spreads. But yeah, so I'm just going to use my little page clips. They look like this. Yeah, so I just use these to clip down the corners. Quite a lot of people who do bullet journaling don't seem to use these, and I just think they're like an absolute staple. Yeah, so I clip down the corners like that, and it just means when I'm writing it's not bouncing up and down. So yeah, I'm gonna now sit down so we can fill this in. Whoops, bang the desk. Okay, so I'll show you how I use the trackers first, because I do get quite a few questions. I guess because when you see it and it's just a graph, you might not really understand how it's working, because it's in a small space, so I don't put loads and loads of information on. But basically for the sleep tracker, which is this one here, a filled in one looks like this. It's along the bottom, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then up the side is 1 to 8, and that's to represent the hours slept. So obviously, yeah, up to 8. So say on Monday, I actually got about 7.5, so it's halfway up, so up to there. And then on Tuesday, about 5 hours, so you go up to the 5. So for Wednesday, last night was about 7, so I just start at the 7 and go down in the Wednesday column. And then I just really like how these little graphs look when they're all complete. It's just like, I just like this look. Let me know if you do as well. Some people prefer a more minimalist and less cluttered, but I like the busy look at the moment, so who knows, might change my mind in a bit. And then the next little tracker we've got on here is a reading tracker. If you aren't as interested in reading, you could change this out for an exercise tracker or study tracker. You could have, you know, hours studied along the bottom or something. But this time, just to change it up, so I've got one horizontal and one vertical, I've got the days of the week down this side instead. Whoops, I just drew there. Love you in your journal. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, sorry, I was just looking at the comments. Yeah, so on the Wednesday, which is today, I would then highlight how many pages I have read. And this morning I've done 15. I've gone up in 5s because it's realistic for me. I'm not going to be reading like loads and loads of pages in a day, just trying to build the habit. So that's why I'm doing it just small chunks for now, and hopefully reading about 5 pages a day is like a realistic goal for me, basically. But yeah, so that is the trackers all set up. And then the final thing to do in my weekly spread is obviously the planning. So I've got my little Wednesday box here, and the reason I'm using smaller boxes now is just because I don't really love having loads of space left over and it looking like I've not done a lot. It's just like a psychological thing. If you've got a really busy to-do list, it makes me feel good when it's all ticked off. And if you've got a massive page to fill, you'd have to do loads of tasks. Whereas if you've only got a few, yeah, it just makes you feel better about yourself. And it's also easier to create a bit more of a priority structure. So I tend to just write in here the main things. Lemon, could you please stop putting weird things in the chat? Otherwise I might have to block you, so sorry about that. But I want to make sure everyone's enjoying the video. Anyway, so I'm going to be filling in this with my kind of priorities. And we've got film and send video, because I create videos for other companies and brands. And then I also need to sketch out the next pages for my YouTube videos, because whenever I film a setup, I normally have the pencil done already because you can't see it on camera very well. And that's what I've got to do today. Then I also need to schedule some posts, because I also do social media management for some companies. And then I need to film and edit a TikTok. If you don't follow my TikTok, go and follow me. It's meg_notes_, and it's also meg_notes on Instagram if you want to follow me over there as well. And I need to post on Instagram tonight because I'm rubbish at it, so I'll be doing that. So this just helps me focus my day, think about what is like my main priorities. There's quite a few other little things that I'll do throughout the day, but it's like kind of not worthy of going in my journal, if that makes sense. I try to keep this my like main focus of the day. And then I do also join that up with Notion, where I put all of my to-dos so I can like brain dump, whereas in here it's more the specifics must be done today, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just all I do when I fill in my bullet journal. That is how I use my weekly spreads. That's how I use my little trackers. If you would like me to create a video showing a bit of like a template, how to set up a weekly spread that you could then apply to any week, and you could have space for certain trackers, maybe if that's something you want to be changing up, then let me know and I can definitely do that. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and yeah, let me know which is your favourite spread of mine. And I don't know if there's anything else I need to say. I've got a beginner bullet journal series coming very soon. I'm just working on making sure that's all planned out and stuff. So drop me any comments. Please leave a like and a comment on this video in the comments itself, because that helps boost it out